Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of El Local. I am your host, Eddie Gonzalez, and today I have Restored Grit, clothing brand, and the gentleman behind the brand. Guys, welcome, welcome.
Having us. Thank you.
Restored Grit is your guys' brand,
Yes.
and you guys are obviously wearing some gear right now.
Yeah.
And I kind of would love to know the story behind it. Want to get to know you guys, um, what direction this brand is going, what you guys envision. But before we start, kind of give me a little bit, some info of who you guys are as individuals. So, where you from? Born and raised. Just kind of let people know a little bit about you guys as individuals. You want to start over here, Manny?
Yeah, sure. My name is Manny, of course, Manny Murillo. I was born in Santa Cruz but raised in Watsonville. And, I'm a pretty shy guy, Yeah, I'm pretty shy. I don't really like to talk a lot. And don't have all the confidence in the world, but we are getting there. And, I'm just trying to start a little legacy for me that I could be proud of.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Edgar.
Yeah, so I'm born and raised here in Watsonville. Personally, I have a background in psychology. Have a bachelor's from CSUMB. And I've always just kind of focused on, talking to people and kind of like listening to their struggles, because I think it's very important to just sit down and listen to each other and see how we can connect and relate so that we can, better ourselves in that sense.
Nice.
Yeah.
Adrian.
Adrian Galindo here. I'm born and raised Watsonville, pero soy de Michoacán, ya sabes. I'm just very determined, kind guy. Need a lending hand, come to me. I'll help you out. But very ambitious, try and just leave a legacy, how many said, behind. And yeah, man, just keep going. I'm a hard worker and very, very sure of myself, But at the end of the day, I'm just a man fearing God. That's about it.
Yeah, nice. My name is Manuel Estrada, born and raised here in Watsonville, and I come from a very long history background of I had cancer at the age of 3, and from then on I've had multiple surgeries, and that's what really shaped me to become who I am. I'm very loving, very caring for everybody, a hard worker. I'm currently a student at CSUMB studying for kinesiology. One more year, let's go.
There you go.
But yeah, I'm just a very hardworking person. At least that's what I try to be and strive to be. But yeah, thank you for having me.
No, thanks guys for joining us. And it's kind of prior to this, we're kind of talking a little bit. It's weird how, not weird, not a coincidence, but how I have a connection of some sort with all of you guys. Yeah. So I've known you since you were in middle school. I know you because I coach at Rolling Hills and you were the referee. We both went to Aptos High, and we have ties there. And over here, I coached at PV, and you played at PV, so there's ties there, and we have some connections, mutual connections there. So I like that we have that connection a little bit with each other. So that's pretty cool. Restored Grit is your guys' brand, right? It's a clothing line.
Yes.
Can you guys kind of give me a rundown on what Restored Grit is as a brand?
Yeah, so it's not just a brand. Mm-hmm. It's the embodiment of having that culture of never giving up, aim to the sky, to the stars, and just pretty much have that goal and reach for that goal. That's pretty much what we strive for. Once again, I can go on and on with my background, my history and stuff like that, but that's truly what I aspire to be, a beacon for people, just so that they can reach out to us or reach out to a community, because it all comes down to all the people that that community-based, which you've seen here in Watsonville. We are very, very keen on having a big community and helping each other out.
Yeah.
So we kind of focus on finding the garments that we all like as a collective unit, and we work on designs for the garments, But what it really is, like what Manny was saying, is it's really about the values that stand behind the clothing, like what it represents. So I think we all agree that our values are integrity, doing what's right even when nobody's looking, right? Empowerment of others and ourselves, so helping other people reach whatever goals it is that they want. Also, I'm thinking out. If you guys could help me.
Oh, just to build off his idea, we're more than just a brand. Like we sell clothes, but more than anything, we want to like foster and nurture a community of like-minded people. People who, despite life challenges, keep striving for more, wanting to do better. Even if it's just a step a day, 1% better. But at the end of the day, they just keep on going despite whatever they're going through. Breakup challenges.
Yeah.
We all go through stuff.
Yeah.
But this brand and all of us, we all had our challenges, and we just want to strive for better.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And so my question, I guess, now is like, how did you guys all meet, right? What was the background and the story between how you guys all met?
So, going way back to middle school again, Manny and I actually met in middle school. Yeah. And at first, I didn't really like Manny at first. Him and I.
For reasons we're not going to say. He did not like me in middle school.
But I didn't like him in middle school at first. But
I liked him though.
Yeah,
Great guy,
yeah,
cool
yeah.
guy. But
thank you. But but then come around high school, that's when we start hanging out a little bit more. And ever since freshman year, him and I have been best friends. We've been best friends, and we've known each other for 12 years now, 12 plus years.
Known each other like 2013, and started hanging out like 2015.
Yeah, we've known each other for 10 plus years, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll come around high school. We started playing a lot of video games, right? And we actually, funny enough, we wanted to start a podcast with a couple of my cousins and my friend Javier. I'm just gonna say his name. But a couple of my cousins and our friend, right? And so that's how we started off at first. We wanted to do something, and we said, oh, you know what, maybe a podcast, because that's when podcasts are going to blow up a little more. We're like, yeah, we should, but it never came into fruition.
Yeah.
But then maybe a couple years later, maybe like 3 years later, Manny and I still wanted to do something. And so I was thinking, I saw a brand, I forgot what brand it is, but I saw a brand on Instagram. And I was like, whoa, you know what? I kind of want to do garments. I want to do clothes. And also, me personally, I never find the right pants or anything like that, just because of like my issues I have with my leg and stuff. But I wanted to make clothes and all that stuff. And then later on, I wanted to like inspire people, because I was like, you know what? Like, what if we're able to make like a movement, or just have it like this thing become something bigger, right? Inspire people. And so Manny and I kept going back and forth on the drawing boards, and then the name, and then a bunch of feedback. And then finally I told him, what about Restored Grit? Yeah. And then I met Edgar at work, and and then Adrian at the gym.
Yeah, so we all kind of, the three of us work together at the California Grill.
Okay.
So right down the street here. But the four of us go to the same gym, Body Zone. So that's really where we all kind of met and connected, because even though we worked, we would have different shifts, so we wouldn't really actually like talk. And when you're at work, you just kind of shoot the shit, and you don't really get to actually know each other. So it wasn't really till we were at the gym that we really like met and connected, and kind of saw like who we were as individuals, and push each other, whether it was to hit new PRs or hang outside of the gym and work, and just really get to know each other. I think these guys started Restored Grit, brought in Adrian, and we had kind of talked about it. Manny had brought up the idea when we first started, because I had told him that I was like super into stickers, so I wanted to make a sticker business, and so they brought me in because they knew that I had the desire to create something. So we just met up at Starbucks, and I mean it just kind of went from there. We kind of just talked about how we're going to do it, what our vision is, who our target audience is, and also how we're going to deal with disagreements, because there's four of us, so there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, so there's a lot of disagreements, a lot of agreements, different perspectives. So
But the great thing about this is that you guys have the same goal, right?
Yeah.
That same end game,
Right.
right? And during that process of creating the name, creating the brand, in that process, what made it click that hey, it's the four of us. Like this is the group. This is the group of men that I'm gonna move forward with, and chase this dream.
I think
Good question.
yeah, really good. I think I met them all at the gym, pretty much all within the same week. It was all like my uncle, brought me to the gym, and I met them, and I think it's something to do with the gym because we were all there trying to
Better ourselves.
better ourselves in
Yeah.
one way or another. Some was lose weight, some of them put on weight, get stronger, whatever, and we just wanted. Manny said, start something, and that's why we started the clothing brand to have someone, not really someone, but more like have something that represents us, and we all had the same goal. We wanna do something with our lives. We
Yeah.
wanna, how this guy said, leave a legacy behind. We wanna have something to be proud of, and so far, we're proud of this brand. I see someone wear this and I light up. I'm like, wow, like we did that.
Yeah.
We did that, and
awesome.
we really appreciate the support
Yeah.
and build off.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really good question. I think that we've been going for almost 2 years now. Right? Almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
And we've had our disagreements for sure, and there's been times where personally I question the group. I'm like kind of like like is this gonna
For
work
sure,
out? Is
yeah.
it not? We're always gonna have those doubts. Like with anything in life, you're always gonna have those doubts. Like am I gonna be able to do this? And but I've never once thought like, oh, we should have had this person instead of this person, or I wish it was just the three of us or the two of us, because we all have something to bring to the table. And I think all these guys are a good group of guys, and we correct ourselves whenever we're wrong or make mistakes. And yeah, man, I mean, I like to take a lot of accountability in that sense, where if I feel like personally I'm getting into a mindset where I'm saying like, oh, like Adrian or either Manny did this, they should have done that. It's like, okay, well, what could I have done to help them kind of made a better choice, or how can I kind of just like check myself? Am I making sense?
Yeah.
A little bit. Okay, you're kind of picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't. I think I get to the mindset where I start to sit and nitpick at things.
Yeah.
So I kind of had to like relax and just be like, you know what, it is what it is. It's a learning curve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to touch on that, right? Because it is the four of you guys,
Yep.
and in any group, there's never, not everyone's that synced up at once, right?
Yeah.
So you're just, like I said, disagreements. How do you guys navigate that as friends, as business partners? How do you guys navigate the disagreements, and what system or what do you guys have in play for when you guys don't agree with each other?
Yeah, we at first we did like the whole like outvoting system, like if majority vote. We had that going for a while, and then we just started talking more and getting more sync. So like we had less of a disagreement, like so we stemmed away from the majority vote and started. Yeah, we all had like the same ideas, and so we started off with that. Now I'm just rambling.
Yeah, now we're pretty much a sync. Like, we still use that like till this day. Like, if I have an idea and I'm outvoted, like we still stick to that. Like, that's our bread and butter. We don't. At the end of the day, majority vote.
Right.
I think like not taking things too personal as well is a big
Yeah,
factor.
for sure.
Just because it's just a vote, right? But the thing is like once you start taking it to heart, that's when it's starting to fall out and stuff like that. But I would like to say that we don't really take it personally at all. I've done like 5 or 6 different like design like ideas, and they all like pretty much told me like no, I'll take it to heart. It's just another thing, you know, and that's never going to like make me question our friendship either. Just because I think we're mature enough to say like what it is and not take things too personally.
Nothing's ever personal, just business. You know?
Yeah.
And I think
Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, yeah, it's business, and I think we all just are on the same page. Like, this is business; it's not personal. We'll argue or have disagreements, and we'll never. It never crosses. Our business life never crosses with our personal life. Personal never into business. And we've been really good at that since the beginning, honestly.
Yeah, because I think from the jump we really made it a point to acknowledge the fact that we are going to disagree, and it should never be just straight up like, no, I disagree with you, and that's it. It's always what is it called? Essentially, if I tell you I don't like the idea, I don't like it because X, Y, and Z. But we could build off of it. Maybe we do this. You know what I mean? So we give each other that feedback.
Yeah.
It's not just
compromise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just like shut it down.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I don't really like it. Maybe we should go this way. And as a group, kind of like come together and build it up rather than just like shut it down.
Keep the idea alive, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys, take on a lot of constructive criticism with each other. If you guys don't necessarily scrap something right away, but you guys always revisit because there's always a possibility in the future, right? That it could come back to life or whatnot. And that's pretty good because you hear a lot of stories of like business partners and friends kind of going into it and it's not mixing well, or you hear this other one where like you never go into business with family. And I've heard of stories of like family members going into business with each other and it's just like it falls apart and it tarnishes their relationship. So how do you guys, if there is a disagreement or there is a moment where like you said, you don't take it personal, but like, hey, maybe it kind of hit a little hard, like, I really wanted it. Like, for those moments, like, what do you guys do as individuals to kind of like step back and like, all right, restart, refresh, and then come back into it?
To be honest, exactly what you said. Step back. Just step back. Do something that's not going to like make things, because when you're heated or something like that, you're not gonna go and try to poke the bear again, right? You're not gonna try to do that. So I think taking a step back, doing something that you actually enjoy doing to clear your mind helps out a lot too.
Yeah, I think sometimes just sometimes you just gotta take it. You know what I mean? Like, especially if you're outvoted. Like if I have an idea and they're like, nah, we don't like it. I think I did have an idea.
No,
so we have a group chat.
Happened for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So we have a group chat, and I'll shoot some ideas, and I think there was one idea. I was like, oh, what if we do this? Super stoked about it. And these guys didn't say shit. They just put a thumbs down emoji on it. Like, what am I gonna do? So I was just like, okay, it is what it is. Whatever. It's not. I trust. Again, like it comes down to trust. Like I trust their judgment. And we're not always going to agree, but I trust their judgment. So if they say like that's not a good idea, then it's not a good idea.
We have really grown from our communication. Like at first, I'm pretty sure like we were all scared to say something because, like I said, like the whole friendship and business, we weren't really there yet, but we have really grown and we're still growing on that.
I think we've been having those open conversations too, because we have weekly meetings as well. So we usually have a nice little debrief and all that stuff and how we feel and stuff. So I think that also helps out a lot. It's just literally communicating, because if you have no communication, then like you have nothing to go off of.
You don't really have to even like send a message, like you said, like just send like a reaction to the message. Just something.
Something's always better than nothing.
Yeah. And as you guys are starting the business, right? What were those challenges like to get it off the ground? Because you said that you guys knew each other first, and so you guys had talked about it, right? Let's do this
Podcast first.
podcaster. Was the name Restored Grit the first thing you guys came up with?
No, not at all. We had like, what was it? Struggler.
Yeah, we probably had
Struggle
like 3 other
Apparel.
names.
Yeah.
And it was like right after work we talked about it more, and he just came up with the name Restore to Grit, and then I was like, yeah, let's roll with it. Like as long as we start it,
Yeah.
I'm cool. You know?
We had feedback from
Yeah.
other people too. Yeah, we were just asking around what they thought of it. We had more yays than nays, so I was like, yeah, just roll with it. I like it. I like it.
But yeah, then like legit right after work we talked about it, and that's just how it happened.
Yeah, that's the start of it. Just right, that's one conversation started everything.
Yeah, because like I said, we always wanted to make something,
Yeah.
and I always told him like, as long as we start it, you know, that's all that matters. As long as we start, get the foundation going, you know, set the foundation. The name was the foundation, and then we talked about like bringing in other people to make it a little bit easier on us, and that's when we came with these guys.
How tedious and how worried or right? Because when you create a business, it's like you don't know what direction to go, right? So like the logistic parts of that, was that hard for you guys to do at the beginning, right? Like you had to register it and the state and the fees and like
Yeah,
how do you? What was your guys' experience with that part?
Well, so I have 2 jobs. I work at California Ground Bar, and I also have a job in Marina as a personal trainer at S Tier Strength. And with that being said, S Tier Strength, I had to make my own business account or a 1099 form, right? My own independent contracting. So to be honest, just trying to get started was, for me at least, wasn't that much of a big leap. I was scared, man. I was scared at first. Yeah, I have no idea. I was like shaking in my boots and everything.
Yeah.
But slowly and slowly, just overthinking too much is what really kills dreams. Just that overthinking of it. Just literally just send it. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I recommend for people.
Just trial and error, right? Just make those small mistakes and kind of tweak things a little bit and learn from there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, even with, were you gonna add something?
I was gonna say, yeah, I think that's where we struggled because we wanted our first shirt to be perfect. We wanted it to be, everything in the right place, just perfect.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that how you said that what kills dreams. Honestly, the wanting it to be perfect. And I think we gave ourselves a timeline. We want it out by this time. I think we pushed it back by like 3 months at least.
Yeah.
3 months at least, just because we were like, but what about this color, this shirt?
Agree. Yeah, at
We
the
couldn't.
time,
Yeah, we couldn't agree. And then I think it might. I don't know. Don't get mad. I think it was Edgar though who was like, let's just drop something. Like we just gotta bring.
No way.
Yeah.
We
Something to the
just
table.
and if it bombs, it bombs. But like,
We sold out, right?
yeah, we sold out.
Our very first drop, we sold out.
I think it was 50 shirts, and we sold out.
Well, when did you guys release it? What was the first day? What was that day like?
Actually, I'll tell you how the photo shoot was. The photo shoot was nerve wracking. We were trying to take pictures. We were super awkward. Started to get hot because we took pictures inside the gym.
Right.
At first, we didn't know really
body zone.
body zone. We didn't really know where we wanted to go.
Yeah.
Right? First, we were thinking like gym apparel, but then afterwards, we said, you know what? We're more of a lifestyle and streetwear brand. So we went from pretty much being a gym brand to moving to a lifestyle streetwear brand, and it was awesome. We were just laughing all the time. We were super nervous, super awkward, and then drop comes, and I was, at least for myself, I was ecstatic. I was happy. I was like, let's get everything rolling. Yeah. Sorry, you're gonna add something?
No.
Yeah, no, it was just awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really fun. The photo shoot was cool. We definitely, even to this day, I think we're all a little camera shy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was like I'm pretty sure it was like everybody's first time, like
Yeah.
Taking photos,
posing,
like that,
you know. And the guy who took our photos, he was just like, "You guys just work out, and he'll walk around, take photos." Yeah. And we were all like different areas of the gym, just working out. Yeah. And kind of made it easier on us, I guess, because like we didn't really think about somebody taking photos of us.
Yeah.
Like we're just working out. Yeah. And it was after hours too.
It was after hours.
Yeah, so
Nice.
we got lucky with that.
Nice. And what was the the first design? What was the first?
It's right here.
Yeah.
Right
That one right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so the first design, so it was on a white shirt. This is our first hoodie, but our first design was this right here. So it's like the globe with skull hands and sights, because when we were first starting, we were kind of going towards like a
Kind of like take
like
over
a
the world.
dark,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
kind of brand.
Like take back
Yeah.
control of your life. That's
Yeah.
why we put the
Yeah.
hand
Yeah.
with the globe. You know,
Yeah.
we wanted people who felt lost.
Uh-huh.
You know, see that design and like, oh, you know,
Yeah,
grab control of your life. You know,
right. Like
get
just taking over your
Yeah.
world.
your
Yeah.
word, you know.
But we did have some kind of pushback, I guess, because it's death. It
The
has
site.
a site.
Yeah.
The
So
site.
we had people say that they didn't purchase because it's too
Dark, too
dark.
gruesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we kind of had to work with that and kind of rebrand ourselves. And I mean, it's worked out. This is, I think, our newest hoodie.
Yeah, it's already.
Yeah, so we kind of dropped the scythe and just kind of went with restored grit. And yeah, I mean, it's been awesome. The first drop was a white shirt with that design and the RG in the middle. And that went really well. Most of the people I think we sold to were people that we know from the gym.
Yeah.
That was cool, and it was really funny to see too, because at the time we knew we wanted to bag them, right? Like not just give people shirts.
Yeah.
So we put them in bags, but we bought these like black bags from Amazon. And, one of our buddies, Juan, he what did he say? He was like, "Oh, what are these trash bags?"
I was like, man, it's a work in progress,
We
man.
also had like personal written letters that
Oh, but my hand was hurting.
And then one of our buddies, Max, we gave it to him. He just ripped open the bag, took out the shirt, then crumpled up the
I was
bag.
like, no, I
And
didn't.
so he didn't see the note. So then we're like, no more notes in bags.
Yeah.
Oh, my hand was hurting, bro. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
bro, like
bro,
50,
yeah, he wrote all
60.
50, right? It's
Dang.
crazy.
Yeah, my hand started hurting. I was like, bro, my freaking hand's cramping. And then just to see him do that, I was like, oh, shed a tear.
Yeah, I was laughing.
At work, I spent all this time.
Yeah, I was like, I was trying to make my hands ready so nice. Yeah. Oh, it's so
But
funny.
you guys learned right away, right? Like right
Yeah.
off the back,
Oh,
So
yeah.
early on, there was,
Yeah.
even though it was success, there were still things
There were some
that,
things
Oh yeah, we learned a
that
lot
like,
from that.
maybe we shouldn't do this right
Yeah, yeah.
away.
Just
or-
trial and error.
yeah,
Yeah,
trial and error.
Definitely.
Yeah, so we were just glad to get the shirt out there and then get that feedback from people. And then from there, yeah, I mean, we still kept it for the hoodies because we have a gray hoodie, which is this one, and a black hoodie. And then after that, I think was when we released, because those 3 drops, they were pretty consistent, like back to back. So that's when we were getting the most feedback. And then, so that's when we decided, okay, maybe we should rebrand and maybe drop the sites because we don't want people to think that we're, that dark. We're not that dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we've also never really spoken about what the scythe is. I don't think we've ever really gotten to sit down and really like explain that in a proper way.
Well, I mean, you guys are here right
Yeah,
now, so
yeah,
why
yeah.
not make that an exclusive right now?
Yeah.
So the whole idea behind the scythe is like the duality between like life and death. So I was stemming that from my history of like, I had stage 3 Ewing sarcoma, which is like a super rare type of bone cancer, and I was literally like facing death. Just facing death face to face, right? But so that's where I got the whole scythe from, because the Grim Reaper isn't a bad person. He's someone that leads you to like either heaven to the afterlife. Yeah. And so that's where I got the whole notion of the scythe, because, well, I went through all that stuff, all that traumatic stuff when I was younger, and it's kind of like a, what's it called, memento mori, pretty much do something, I forget the whole saying, but you only have one life, right? Very precious life, so go out there and do it. It's a reminder of like, you will eventually, not be here anymore, so why not just live a life that you want to live?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the whole background of that.
Always gotta live your best life,
Yeah, of course.
Fullest.
Live it like it's your last.
And I think it's been a learning curve. I mean, for all of us, but I think, because I think we would get together. He told us one time, like, dude, someone asked me what the scythe means, and I didn't know what to say. Like, what do you guys tell people? And so I told him, I was like, I mean, that it's a reminder of death, so we should, basically what he was saying, but that sounds way too crazy.
it sounds way-
So, I think it's better to say, like, it's not necessarily a reminder of death, but it's a reminder that life is a gift. And we don't know when it's going to be taken from
When
us.
your time is up, yeah.
Exactly. So we got to do the best we can to live every day as best we can. You know, not just for ourselves, but the people around us. You know, like treat everybody with respect and love. And yeah, just help each other along the way because you never know.
Yeah, and I like that. That's actually, it's very interesting because that's the first time I've heard it be put that way.
Yeah.
You know what it represents, those diets, and that's interesting because not a lot of people know. They see that as like death.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
It
yeah,
scares
it scares
people.
people. It turns people away, but that's actually pretty neat that you take that and you use it for for yourself and all that. And I love it. Restored Grit. So you guys have your drop, sell out. Had some trial and error moments where people were like, oh no, whatever. How did you guys celebrate that? How did you guys like, move forward with that? You know, because a lot of people sometimes could get stuck in that high for such a long time. And did you guys get stuck in the high, or how did you guys move forward? Like, all right, move on. Let's get to the next.
Nah, definitely, that's what we did. We had like our little moment where we were happy. We talked about it, but we just went right back to work and figure out our next drop.
Right.
Yeah, we just took the feedback. Yeah, we got a lot of feedback. Like, oh, you guys got this in black and black, different colors. Because white, it gets dirty and all that. Yeah. So we got a lot of feedback saying you guys got black shirts. So then we were on the high for around a week or
days.
A week's max. We were we're sold out. Let's go.
Yeah.
But then after we had our meeting. It's all right, guys. Like, what should we just do the same design, different color? And then the feedback we were getting, we were like, yeah, let's do it. And then same thing, we sold down that one or like
the
black one.
We dropped this faded hoodie next, and we sold out, and then we went for a black hoodie.
And
sold out, and then after that, I think we did the strawberry shirts.
We did the black shirts.
Oh the black shirts.
The black hoodies and black shirts together.
Together. But so back to like that like
excitement.
That excitement. I think we had a really good lesson from that too, though, because the previous drops, the hoodies, the white, the black shirt, those were all kind of like didn't sell out right away, but like over time, slowly, like 2 weeks, something like that. Because we don't also get like hundreds of the garments. We get like a very small
amount.
But then we came to this shirt here, the Restored Grit strawberry hoodie or shirt. I'm sorry. So in the back it says Watsonville, California, has the strawberries.
Should I stand up?
Do stand up. Show it.
So, with this shirt was different. Like it's representative of where we're from, and the strawberries, and people really, really loved it. And I like the first day that we dropped, sold out. Everybody loved them. We sold out, and we were like, dude, that's awesome. Let's do it again. Let's restock. And we learned a lesson from that, because now we're still kind of like holding on to
inventory now.
So now we're holding on to.
You guys got a 3X?
No, we don't. I don't think we have a 3X.
Yeah, I don't think we do. Yeah, but we're because people love them and people want them in hoodies. So we keep all that feedback, and like we said earlier, we don't just scrap ideas. Like, we keep them so that we can use them later. And Strawberry Festival's coming up, so
we constantly like talk about these ideas on our like weekly meetings.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's like we had an idea like 5 months back, we're gonna constantly bring it up, just so we have it in the back of our minds, and we can still do that.
As far as feedback goes, has there been feedback that you guys received that's like not positive, and you're like, dang, how do we improve, or how do you take a hit? Because you're up here, and there's nothing wrong with being up here, but sometimes you get hit with something down here.
Right.
It's like, dude, how do you handle negative feedback? Right. Because I feel like, well, not so much negative feedback, but constructive feedback. Because I feel like even negative feedback is always important. Right. Any feedback is important. So has there been feedback that you guys are like,
I think there has been some feedback.
For this hoodie specifically.
The font of the Restored Grit.
We had a lot of people saying that it wasn't too masculine.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't really like it because it's not masculine and all that stuff. But to be honest, we're a lifestyle in a streetwear brand, so we're trying to make it look somewhat elegant. Nice little what's it called, cursive writing right there, and that's what our goal was for this. So that kind of made us rethink what we should do with the design. Remake the design or the font or whatever. But to be honest, we had to go with like our best judgment.
Yeah.
And just say, you know what, we're gonna listen to the feedback, but we're not just a gym brand. We are
Yeah.
a lifestyle brand. And I see people, a lot of our customers actually wearing this out and about, like literally when they're going on hikes or when they're eating dinner or anywhere, to be honest.
Yeah.
And that's our goal. So with that being said, I think just having that feedback and just digesting it, thinking it over, talking to everybody and stuff is like the main thing. Just communication all around.
Yeah. I think that's kind of funny that you guys got that feedback not masculine enough.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah.
What does that What does that mean? Because I mean, we could get into that whole masculinity thing and all,
Yeah.
but like,
They said that just because it said they matched the design in the back, because the design in the back it's
It's Atlas.
Atlas?
Yeah, he's holding
Yeah.
the world on his back, and then
so they said it didn't really match like the
The
message,
vibe, I
yeah,
guess.
the message in the back that it was trying to give off.
right.
But how we said, yeah, like we take every feedback, you know,
Yeah.
good and bad,
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, we just go what we think is best,
Right.
and
yeah,
we hope is right, and if it's not, you know, we learn.
Yeah.
Like you said, you know, everything we'll tweak it next drop. You know,
So we can't make everybody happy.
no,
Yeah.
for
You know?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like then again, you have to go like you got to base it off like would you wear this shirt out? You know,
Yeah,
that's kind of like our whole I guess idea when we do a job. Like, would you wear this out? Like, would you wear this to when you go out
yeah,
on a like with your girlfriend? Would you wear it out to like a family party or anywhere?
yeah.
I mean, I'd wear all of them. So for sure, I'm not gonna lie. I love that strawberry one. That strawberry one, like
Yeah, this
it's
is probably like
it
our
connects
most
to you,
popular-
right?
It connects to me.
Yeah,
The
and
strawberries.
That's what we wanted. You know, and I think we did a great design and for giving off that message, like Watsonville strawberries. You
Yeah.
know?
Although funny enough, we did have some people from like Salinas or say
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna buy it because this is Watsonville."
Yeah, no, I had a buddy
That was
from
kinda funny.
like the LA area.
Yeah,
He's all like, oh, like if somebody comes off me in the street, be like, are you from Watsonville? Like,
Yeah.
what am I gonna say? Like, am I gonna say your name? Like, bro, it's just a shirt, dude. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah. Like, it's just, it's a nice design, you know. Like we made the shirt just to like pay homage to like where we came from.
And it was great because we reached out to, you know, like me personally, my grandma loved the shirt. You know, she works in the field till this day, and she loved the shirt. So it felt great, you know, being able to like she felt represented.
Right.
Like she
felt
yeah,
seen.
Pretty
she
sure
felt
we,
seen.
we all had family.
Yeah,
like, even he worked the
I
field.
mean, he worked the
couple
field.
times,
I
yeah.
worked the field. My grandpa used to own field, so like, I was probably, I think I was like 10, and he would, let's go work because I'll help out as much, you know. But at that time, I found it fun. But like once I actually did it, like I was like, this is
hard work.
Hard work,
Yeah,
this.
definitely.
You know, my favorite time was like lunchtime because.
Payucas right there.
But yeah, it just felt great to reach out to more people, you know, because the gym, the site, it really people just felt like it's just a gym brand, but us rebranding, reload a new logo to just a restored grit helped us turn us from like a gym scene brand more into a lifestyle. And
kind of broaden our target audience. a
Yeah.
little.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And you guys talked about your target audience being people who go through things, right? And that inner you to like fight through it and move ahead and
Right,
better
right.
yourself and all that. Kind of, if you guys will, let everyone know, or if you're willing to share, like what's like a moment in your life, right, that you had to fight through, you had to like move ahead, and it embodied what your brand, your lifestyle restored grit is. Can you kind of talk me through a moment?
Yeah, so this was like probably like right after COVID, you know. I'm pretty sure everybody took a hit during COVID. I gained probably like 40 pounds. I went up to 320 pounds during COVID and had no motivation, had really nothing to do. It wasn't working at the time, depressed. And I one day I just decided at the gym, like can't be living like this no more. So I, locked in, and I dropped like 80 pounds.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Three
dropped like 80
twenty.
pounds, and went back to work at the California because I left for a bit, and then I came back, and yeah, no, that's like my one moment where like can't be living like this no more.
And talk me through that process, right? I mean, 80 pounds is a lot,
Yeah.
but the in between, the struggle to like get up in the morning, like how did you overcome and how did you, you know, get to where you needed to be?
No, like for me, it was just I was kind of like a machine. Like I needed to do this. Like I didn't want to go back to my old self, and I found the saying. It's like don't prove others, or no, was it? It's like don't prove others wrong, or don't.
Don't
And
prove
then,
others
right?
right, prove yourself. No,
yeah,
no, it probably don't prove others wrong, prove yourself right.
no, I was like, don't prove others wrong, prove your old self you're not worthless, or something like that. And I just, you know, I didn't like my old self. I don't want
Yeah.
to live like that no more. So I needed to better myself, and I got that through the gym. And then that's where I met Adrian. I worked with Edgar, but I never really talked to him because, like I said, I was shy. I never really liked to talk to people, even though I worked at a restaurant.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But that also helped me talk to more people. I was working at a restaurant, but he put in the work. He kept talking to me, trying to talk to me.
Yeah, I annoyed him a little bit.
Yeah.
It's
And
like,
then
what's up? How are you? What are you doing?
yeah, I'll give him like dry answers,
Yeah.
and then like I would see him at the gym, be like, oh, a little high, and he sees my progress. He would boost me up, and at the time he wasn't at the gym, but he would still help me out. He would see my progress, and that just kept me going. Just the people around me just telling me to keep going,
Yeah.
giving me compliments, even though I don't really take them. Yeah, but yeah, no, like these guys really helped me out, bettering my life, and that's what we're trying to do for other people.
Yeah, for sure. I guess kind of similarly in the sense of like dealing with that mental health aspect of it. I think it was around probably like my second year of college in Cabrillo. I just didn't really have any sense of direction. So I was kind of lost. I was like, what should I do? I really like writing, but people are always telling me like, you're going to be a writer. You're not making any money. So I was always like, dude, like, I don't know what to do. And so I always knew that I liked to, like I said at the beginning, I like to listen to people and kind of like talk to them and hear them out and kind of try to find solutions. Not necessarily tell people what to do or give them advice, but just make them feel seen. Sometimes when you talk to people, something clicks in their head where they see something they didn't see before. And that's always awesome. So for me personally, I think it was just, not knowing necessarily that psychology was what I wanted to study. I thought it was philosophy because I always would see all these quotes and was like, that's cool. I like that. I want to be able to say those types of things, all these proverbs to people, right? But then I found psychology, and it helped me a lot because honestly, like, I can't say for sure that I had depression because I was never diagnosed. But I did, like, I was in a dark place. Like, I didn't see a future for myself, and I just didn't know where to go. I had no sense of direction again. But once I started taking those classes, I was like, okay, like, this is cool. It helped me learn about myself and also kind of better understand others and their behaviors, not take things personally. So I think that was probably, like, a big hurdle that I jumped over was kind of finding my passion and not feeling like I'm just stuck in this rut and I can't get out. If that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Makes sense.
I think for me, it was since I was little, because I'm the oldest of I have 5 siblings, so I'm the oldest. I'm the sixth. Having that responsibility kind of tossed on to me. My mom never said like, "Oh, this is your responsibility," and I never took it. I never really understood it. But I was like, I gotta take care of my siblings. My
As
mom
the
being
eldest.
being a single mother, working, providing for us. I was like, well, I have to quote unquote be the man of the house.
Yeah.
You know, be a big brother.
Yeah.
So just my whole life, it wasn't until like high school where I kind of like saw the sacrifices my mom was doing, and I was like, wow, like I have to strive for better. You know, I want to provide that life for my mom, my siblings, and that at that point I kind of realized like, oh, this isn't just for my family. This is also for me, and yeah, ever since then I just kept going, little side hustles, wanting to do better. Like right now, I'm day trading. I want that to be my career, but I think just that blessing in disguise, putting so much responsibility on me that I didn't see in a negative way. You know, I'm a very positive guy, so I'm honestly grateful for that because you know that's that. If it wasn't for that, I don't know what I'd be doing right now, but for sure, it was just that responsibility and being like seeing the sacrifices, and I was like, I got to do something.
Yeah.
I have to provide and just keep going, work hard.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
It is.
So for me, like I don't want to get too dark.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, whatever I tell people, whatever you
But-
feel comfortable with,
Yeah.
sharing.
So through like out my whole entire life, I've just always been inside and outside the hospital. Like how I said before, I was diagnosed with cancer at the age of 3, and I've had about 18, 19 surgeries, 24.
Yeah.
That's pretty much my whole entire life right there, in and out. And my parents have always been there for me. I've always felt like that nurture and love from my parents. But even though you get all that love from like your family, you deep down inside don't really feel like you're worth it or enough or anything like that. So I feel like I was a bit depressed for a long time, like how I said, or like how you said, not clinically, anything
Right.
like that. But I felt so like down and stuff like that. Like even though I like to say I'm very extroverted and stuff like that, I get to the point where I'm just very shy sometimes or just don't want to speak. But even though I went in and out of surgeries, though my most recent one was like the toughest one I've ever had. It was a limb lengthening procedure. So pretty much I grew like about 2 inches and like a quarter on my right side. Yeah. So I was on bed rest for about a year. So I had to cut. It was like during COVID. I was going to school and all that stuff, and then I stopped going to school because of COVID. And then once I started to go back, I had surgery done. That put me out of commission. I was about maybe 20 at the time, and that put me out of commission for about a year. And well, I was so down that year. I was really not in my best mental aspect or anything like that. But I got through it, and that's when it clicked. Like, damn, like I got my ass kicked. I got my ass kicked by a lot of things, and I actually went back to work and started doing some other stuff, and then that's where it just clicked for me. Just me going back to school, because as soon as I got back to school after that, 18 units, transferred from Cabrillo to CCUMB now. I only have a year left. So it's just that constant, consistency of me always getting knocked down and coming back up, knocked down, back up, knocked down, back up. That's what really stemmed it for me, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. And what is your guys' favorite quote as individuals? You kind of mentioned the one that kind of helped you motivate, but is there a quote or a saying or a phrase that's like, this is what I live by as an individual?
That's a good question. Yeah. There's honestly
because there's so many
there's
things.
So many, yeah,
I mean, you go to the gym,
Yeah.
and there's quotes and everything. Social media,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I live by a lot, but like, if you ain't first, you're last. Ricky Bobby, like stuff like that, right?
Ricky Bobby.
Yeah. But is there?
Tell me that at night.
But what's that one that just like? That's the one that gets you up every day. That's the one as a person, as a man. It replays in your head over and over again.
I have a whole notes full of just philosophical quotes that I felt like I could relate to. And then the one I said, that's the one, the don't grind to prove others wrong, prove your old self you're not worthless. That's definitely the one that got me,
Yeah.
It's a good one. I'm kind of similar in the sense that we have, like, I have a lot of them also saved. I think personally, I really like the one that we have on the back of this hoodie. Just because, can you stand up real quick? And show it.
The camera?
Yeah.
Show you the camera.
No, the
Yeah.
yeah. So it's
One is only burdened, right?
One is only burdened with one is able to endure. That one really stuck with me, just because you know, it's just a reminder that the problems that we have and the problems that we face, we are given these problems because we can take them on. Like, I'm not the most spiritual guy, but I do believe in a greater power, and so I think that, you know, whatever issues it is that we have in life, they were given to us because, like, we can handle it. You know, it's not gonna crush you. You're gonna be okay. Like, just keep chipping away at it day by day, and you'll be good. Of course, it's important to find you know, a friend or two. Help isn't a bad thing, so you don't gotta do it on your own. You know?
Yeah.
So that's the one that stuck with me.
Yeah, I think throughout high school, there was just a bunch of quotes. Can't think of any of them, but they all,
Yeah.
they were all great, you know, in their times. But I think what did it for me was the relationship I have with God. That, just recently, like throughout my whole life, you know, it's been there, gone to church, but I never really had a relationship with Him until like probably 3 years ago. It started, I was like, no, like I want to be closer to God. And I saw a video where it was all like, I don't think it was David Goggins, but I saw a video where it was all like, you know, how would it feel if you die? You know, sounds kind of
Dark, but
dark,
yeah.
but like, you know, you die, you go to heaven, and God's there. He's reading this list. You know, you were 6 feet. You were 180 pounds. You had all these achievements. You had this house. You had this land. You had all, you know, a great life. And you're like, hey, God, that wasn't me. Like, that's not me. I don't know what you mean. I'm 6 feet. I'm 300 pounds. I worked a 9 to 5. I never made anything. I didn't leave anything for my family. And he's like, and God tells you, no, this is what you could have been if you would have just worked harder, if you would have just kept going and not given up. And I think that's what makes me keep going. Just knowing, like, God has a plan for me. And even if it's like a bad day, I still know, like, this is part of God's plan. And I think that builds off yours. Like, everything happens for a reason. Right. And, you know, and they say, you know, God gives his toughest battle to his strongest warriors. I 100% believe that. And I just believe, you know, life is a blessing. So you have to take the good and the bad, because just being alive is a blessing. So I think that what keeps me going, my religion with God, my relationship and my religion, for sure.
Yeah. For me, it had to be that quote, memento mori still. Remember, you're going to die. It's just because I've been so close to death, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that really gets me like going a lot, just because it's like, I feel lazy, I don't want to do X, Y, and Z. But then I remember that. And I also tie it to, like, my parents, you know? Like, damn, they've done so much for me just to, like, let this, like, slide. I would go to Lucille Packard Children's Hospital over there in Palo Alto, Stanford. Every day, every what was it? Every 2 weeks. So pretty much every 2 weeks, I'd have to go back and forth for a whole entire week and stuff like that. And so I would get tests and stuff like that. My dad working for long hours. Sometimes he'd wake up at 2 and then come back maybe at like 3 or something. Just terrible hours. But just that quote, memento mori, is what really shines for me.
Has there been we talked about feedback, right? Positive, negative feedback. Has there been a moment where someone comes up to you guys and be like, dude, like this brand, this shirt, what it is that you guys represent, just like it tugs at people. Have you guys has anyone came up to you guys and kind of giving you that feedback? Because your brand is like you said, you guys put it out there. You guys
Yeah,
about fighting and moving forward.
Right.
Has there any been someone who's been like, dude,
That
this
it kind of like resonates with them.
resonates with them?
Roger.
Roger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Roger. He's told me like, dude, that's sick. Like,
Yeah.
like literally, like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I personally haven't. I think we all get feedback from different people at different times. I think we also haven't really, similar to the scythe and explaining that, we haven't really had a chance to explain because when we first started, people were like, "What's grit? What does that mean?" So we haven't really like made any sort of like video or announcement of what this is.
So the message
right, the
behind,
message behind it, yeah. So a lot of people always thought that they think grit, they think of grits like
The food grit.
grits. Yeah, but no, it's just having the courage and strength of character, like that resolve to push through, like basically just don't quit when things get hard. So I personally haven't had any people say it resonates with them.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, but
I think that's also our fault. How you said
Right.
we haven't.
we dropped the ball.
Yeah, we
on
haven't put a post explaining it. We haven't put a video out. So
Yeah.
you're getting all the exclusive.
Yeah.
Right now, pretty much,
Yeah,
There you go.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
But yeah, I haven't had, I have had people like, oh, that, I like the message behind it, but not like, hey man, like, thank yeah.
right. Like they'll tell. I think for this one, a lot of people were like, dude, like that's a really sick design. Like I like the, Atlas holding the world, and the quote goes really well with it. So I think that's them sort of saying like they resonate with it, not
Yeah.
necessarily them saying like, oh, dude, like, I really love this hoodie and what it represents, but they like the design and it made them feel a certain way.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Motivated, something.
Yeah.
So,
Motivation.
Yeah.
What's we all have heroes, right? We all look up to people, and we all it could be like a sports figure, it could be our parents. What's the one person that in your guys' life has been that staple of showing you guys that hard work that embodies this lifestyle, this brand?
yeah. I think for me, my mom.
You
Yeah.
mentioned your mom, yeah.
For sure, yeah. Her, God, I love her. I'm a mama's boy. I'm a mama's boy. All the sacrifices she's done for us. Had me at a very young age. She was 16, like, so just giving up her life to for us, and she's biggest role model. Another one is my future self. Because we keep growing. We keep. We're not this. I'm not the same person I was like last year, 2 years ago. Same, Manny, how he said he was 320, lost 80 pounds. Yeah, same story. I was 330, lost 100 pounds. I'm 230 now. So just my future self, and for sure my mom. Those are my role models.
Yeah. For myself, it's my parents. It's got to be my parents. I mean, like, they sacrificed so much for me, constantly always going back and forth, my appointments, always being there when I need. I used to be in a wheelchair and crutches. They would help me, like, carry me in, carry me out, all that stuff. Anything I really needed, my mom would always be there, help me out. My dad always doing the most that he can, not just for myself, but also for my family. Yeah.
It's gonna sound like a broken record. But my mom, I also grew up in a single parent household. It was just me and her, and everybody in my family just always goes to her whenever they need help with anything. She's always the beacon that they can go to for support no matter what. And growing up, you never really know the sacrifices parents make for us, but as long as later on we know what they did for us, and we care for them, you know. And my mom has done so much for me, and she, even though I don't really show it, but later on, I hope I could, you know, let her know that I really, really care for her, and I appreciate all the stuff she did for me. Yeah. And again, like we said, I am also mama's boy, you know. You know,
No shame in that.
yeah, no, this
Yeah.
is, you know, nobody's gonna love you more than your mom, you know.
True.
Nobody.
I mean, I would also say my parents for sure. You know, they're just your first role models, right? Like they're the ones that are kind of showing you the ropes and you know right from wrong. But I wouldn't say that I have a single person. Just because through conversations that I have with people, I always learn something, right?
Yeah.
Like I always pick up something from someone, and I kind of like take them and make them my own, right? So like I'll carry these lessons that I've learned from people along the way. So I think, yeah, I mean, I think I really enjoy the conversations I have with people, because yeah, like you just learn valuable lessons. You know, either good ones and bad ones. You know, you can learn from the bad, but yeah, I think that's what it is for me, especially through college. Like all of my instructors, you know, because when I was in middle school, high school, I was a shithead, just kind of like not really caring and disrespecting my professors. And I mean, when I was in middle school, I was going to Chavez, and I started ditching school and getting the cops called on me and all this stuff. I put my parents through hell. But once I got to, you know, like Cabrillo, I started like kind of like really, what's it called? I guess not taking it for granted. And yeah, I just learned so much from all my professors and even these guys. You know, we'll have those heart-to-heart conversations, where we just kind of like let the walls down and just kind of tell it how it is. You know, yeah.
And I kind of want to touch on that, right? You just talk about letting down your walls, and we kind of go back a little bit to the brand is not masculine enough, right? How important do you think it is, or how important is it to you to be part of a group of men, right, and be vulnerable, right? I think that's one of the biggest things in this world today. And I think with the brand, what it represents, and men's mental health a little bit, right? How important is that to find a group of men or be a part of a group and be able to be vulnerable to build each other up?
Oh, it's super important.
Super
important, yeah.
Because we've had meetings. We have sort of a mentor, Jordan, and so we will have meetings with him, and he asks us, you know, a lot of good questions, and I think we spoke about what our hurdles were, and I'm a pretty emotional guy, so you know I started tearing up in front of these guys and crying, and you know they were super respectful for it, and they didn't judge me at all. So it's cool to be in a group of guys where you can just kind of let those walls down and just kind of let it out.
Yeah.
You know, because you can probably tell now that my voice is breaking. You know, yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, it's super important. I mean, like, I have PTSD from all the stuff I like went through, but I didn't really know I had any of that stuff until I remember it was I had an appointment at Stanford recently, like maybe 2 years ago, a year ago, and my doctor just started asking me questions and just immediately just started like tearing up, like, whoa, what is this? What am I choking out for? I'm super comfortable always talking about my story, but when I get into like the details of it, I'm like, whoa, I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
Or I didn't even know that I remembered that. You know, it's subconsciously, but it's super important because like, man, there's a lot of stuff that goes on nowadays. You know, a lot of people taking their own lives and stuff like that, and it's just depressing. It's sad. You know, like what if they were to open up? You know, maybe they would have been better. Maybe something would have happened instead of that tragedy. You know, so it's very important to let your walls down, especially being respectful to that as well, because you don't know what anyone has been through.
Yeah.
Who am I to judge another person? Makes no sense to me.
Yeah, no. Personally, I hate talking about my feelings. Like for me, like all those years where I just like, you know, kept it just to myself. You know, I've never talked about my feelings with my mom or anybody that was close to me. I just kept it buried, you know. But recently, I've gotten a lot better, you know, talking to all these guys, and it has really helped me a lot, and it made me a way better person than I was. And I feel like, you know, you don't have to tell everybody your feelings. You know, just tell the people that you're most comfortable with. And for me, it was these guys, and they really helped me out the past years I've known them.
That's crazy.
Dang.
Like, going off of that, like, I'm not saying I'm not saying like just be, you know, like have a time and place, like how you said, but also have the courage to also speak up to people too, because like sometimes we get shy, you don't want to speak up because
It took me a while just even talk to
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
it's because there's that whole judgment. I feel like you feel like you're gonna get judged.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so just letting those walls down, man, is just crazy. Yeah, necessary.
I mean, I think as a collective, though, we also, we'll joke around. We'll make fun of each other.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, because you have to, right?
Oh yeah.
We're just joshing.
Yeah, we're just joshing.
Yeah,
It's
so-
fine.
Yeah, but we're kind of good at, knowing when to have fun and knowing when to take things serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a place and time for everything.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
sure. Where do you guys see yourselves going? Established until 24, right? It's about a year now, right?
Yeah.
What direction do you guys want to take this brand? What direction do you guys want to go? And where do you see yourselves being in 5 years?
You want to start us off?
That's a very, very good question. Yeah, so I personally would love to open up a nice little like pop-up shop or shop here in Watsonville so we can distribute in person, right? Because right now we're only using Instagram for all that stuff. But before we do any of that, we need to establish a website. So I'd love to establish a website and then later on a store. And to be honest, give back to the community. That's my main thing. Give back to the community because I grew up here. Watsonville has treated me so amazing. Everybody around here as well. I wish we had more outlets for like kids so that they can go out because we had a bowling alley when I was growing up. Yeah. What happened to that?
I was in the league, bro.
Dude, you were in the league. Yeah, this guy was in the bowling league. Yeah, and like giving back like that is my main objective, and also opening up hopefully maybe like areas of like safe havens for like kids so they can go be kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like my main thing.
Yeah, I mean, just to add on a little bit, like I agree. I think we want to definitely make this, make this happen. We want to make this a thing. We want to be worldwide. We want to be known. But I think more than anything, we just really hope to connect with people. We just really hope to make a change.
Yeah.
We have been talking. I mean, we've had a few people help us along the way. And one of the things that I was thinking of doing was going to Rolling Hills because I noticed that they have lacrosse goals. I had mentioned earlier I played lacrosse when I was in high school. And especially the middle school because I know, Rolling Hills, the kids there, troublemakers, and like them, they're probably similar in the sense that, they think that they know it all and they, I would like to go there and kind of do like a coaching, mentoring thing kind of to help them find their paths. you know? And I think that's a good way to do it through sports, So that's just one thing, though, again, that for me personally has been like, can I actually do it? Can I actually make this happen? Like, am I good enough? But yeah, I think just we really, really hope to connect with our community and make a change.
Definitely, yeah. Because even Karen, right?
Yeah, Karen the lunch lady.
Karen the
Yeah.
lunch lady,
Yeah.
Freedom Meal Locker.
Yeah.
She even told us that we should go out and do more things like that.
Yeah.
Because I would love to go back to PV and give like a TED talk or something, just because of what I've been through. Yeah, so that's one major thing we've all been speaking about doing as well. It's just finding the connections and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another big thing. And to be honest, eventually I would love to do like charity work and give back to other people. Yeah.
I'm kind of like in the same boat with Edgar. Like since I come from like a sports background, I played football at PV, played baseball at PV, played football at Cabrillo, and I know all the coaches at PV. So I kind of plan on going back there and try coaching over there. And also, like we said, PV, doesn't have the greatest kids, and try to share my wisdom and how I ended up the way I was, coming from kind of not the same background, but like from the same area from them, and show that you could shoot for the stars, always be better day by day.
Anything's possible, man.
No, yeah, for sure. How I said, born in Watsonville, raised in Watsonville, but I did go to school in Santa Cruz. I went to B40. I went to Harbor, De La Viega. I went to only school I went to here was Calabasas for 2 years. So, I've actually sold shirts to my coaches and old teachers and stuff. And the middle school principal actually, she was like, you should come out, bring your company, talk to our Avid program, just to show like anything's possible. You're barely 20 and you're already have a company and you're just doing things and show them what's possible. And same thing with football. I played football, wrestling, track, and the coaches are more than happy to bring us out and just give them like a little pep talk, like there's keep going, don't give up, don't give up, and strive for the stars. I would say, keep going.
So from what I hear from you guys, and it makes sense, right? It's not a brand, it's a lifestyle. So you guys are trying to bring that lifestyle. You guys are trying to like better the community.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. No, for sure. What would you tell yourself? What would you tell your younger self now? You look back at little, let's say,
Like 12-year-old me or something?
12-year-old, 10-year-old, think about that time in your life and where you are now. Like, what do you tell your younger self?
I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is just like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? Like, why are you not going to school? Why are you being disrespectful to your parents? Like, what are you doing? Like, really take this seriously. You know what I mean? I think that's what I would tell myself. But also at the same time, thinking to like college me again, like just tell myself like you're gonna be good, you're gonna be all right.
Yeah, I think I'd tell myself like, this is right now, right? The things you're going through right now, but life can get better. Your life is gonna get better. There's other people out there that are probably doing worse than you. So be happy where you're at right now.
Yeah, honestly, 10-year-old me, I think I would tell him just keep doing what you're doing. Don't change. Because honestly, I have no regrets. I'm very positive. I feel like everything I did when I was little or younger helped me become who I am right now. All the responsibilities. Just keep doing. If anything, I would probably tell him, learn day trading, learn the stock market more. Sooner.
Buy a house,
Buy a house.
You should have a house already.
What was I doing? I was 2, man.
Right? Oh, that
Should have bought a house. I was like 2, man.
We were playing with Hot Wheels.
I should have bought Bitcoin.
Right?
But no, honestly, I was. Again, shout out to my mom. I was very responsible, always respectful. So honestly, I would just tell him like, hey, keep doing what you're doing is good, and we all have different paths. We all have, but as long as you keep going forward and not giving up, you're doing good. You're doing good. Keep going.
Yeah. There's a quote that I think it might not be word for word. I might get it wrong, but I think it's like if you're trying to love yourself, you already do. At least you're trying to That really stuck with me too. Should have said that earlier.
Just came to you now. Though. It's all right. No worries.
Yeah.
I'll tell my little 12-year-old self, just stop being a dumbass, bro. Like,
Dude, I didn't even say that.
no, for real, bro. Like, talk to people, dude. Like, stop being shy. Like, not everybody's trying to get at you, you know? Just stop overthinking. Please stop overthinking, dude. Like, just talk to people. Be out there. Stop being shy. Stop being so closeted. Definitely, I'll tell them that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that's the one thing that I tell people, just in general, right? Everything in its due time, right? A lot of times people get confused and kind of gets frustrated with like, why isn't it happening now? Like, why is it, why do I have X, Y, Z? But everything takes time, right? And depending on where we're at in life, that's when things are going to happen for you. That's when doors are going to open. Because one of the stories that I love to share with people is I used to work for the city of Watsonville, right? And before I worked for the city of Watsonville, I applied 3 times prior to the 4th time where I got hired. And in that time, I was 18, 21, and 25, and I didn't get hired. And I finally got hired at the age of 28. And at that time period in my life, it all worked out because I met a lot of great people to the point now to where they're my friends right now, So, and I tell myself that if I would have started working earlier, I probably wouldn't have met these people. Right. Life wouldn't have happened the way it is now. Right. And I feel like those doors open when they need to open. And sometimes we're not even ready for those doors to be open, but to be patient, right? Definitely. To be patient, right? Because if you go into a situation or something good or X, Y, Z and you're not ready for it and you're not prepared, like it can't flourish. It's all in due timing. Yeah. Right. So that's why I tell people, and I love what we're talking about as far as the grind and everything. Yeah. But yeah, I think for sure moving forward in the future, you guys continue to do that, continue to like connect with the people and network and heck, I mean, we'll even collaborate on something. I don't know, but just by having this conversation, awesome. Like we can find something to do, for the community and everything. Yeah. So, what is as a whole, we know what you guys stand for. But what is that one? If you were to leave Earth right now, if this was it, and you want to leave your legacy, right? We talk about legacy and what you guys want to leave behind. What is the one thing that you say? What is your piece of advice that you give that you want someone to remember you by?
That's a good question. That's a really good. That's a big question.
I guess I would just want to let people know that, like, no matter where you come from, as long as you work hard, keep your mind in the books, just keep working hard, keep grinding, everything will come out the way you want it to. The whole legacy thing, you just got to leave something that you can be proud of behind, that your parents could be proud of, that your kids could be proud of, your kids' kids could be proud of, That's probably the main thing for me, at least. Just let them know that I grinded for them, my future self, my future kids, and all that.
I think for me it would be believe in God, have faith in God, and just trust in His plan. Trust in His plan. Trust in God. He got you. He's watching over you, and as long as you work hard and you keep going and have Him in your heart, you'll be just fine. Yeah, you'll be just fine.
Mine would probably be, you are your only obstacle. Put your head down, get to work.
That's a good one. I think in the same sense, just it's awesome to pursue your goals. Try to achieve your dreams, and it's also just as okay to take some time to enjoy life. Yeah, have some fun.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
No, that's good. That's good. That's some good advice, and it's gonna stay on here. So this is your legacy right here. So what you guys got going on next, as far as next drop, next design?
Yeah.
You said you had some restocks, not restocks, but some inventory they're sitting on. So where can people find you guys and to place an order?
You can find us on our Instagram page, Restored Grit, at Restored Grit.
Restored underscore grit.
You'll find us.
Restored Grit, it'll be there. Yeah.
And if you can't find us on there, you can find us at the gym. Bodies out.
Bodies
Yeah,
out.
we're always there. So.
But plans, designs. I mean, for this whole year, we already have our designs planned out.
Yeah.
If anything, we're looking into 2026 designs now. We have the designs we have now are cemented in, and our next drop probably is strawberries.
We have the strawberry festival.
Yeah, that's coming
and we do hope to have like our own stand there, but there's some hoops that we got to jump through in order to make that happen. We'll do our best to
Always do our best.
to do so for sure. But we'll see what goes on. I think we also have Dia de los Muertos.
Dia de los Muertos.
Dia de los Muertos drop that we really want to make happen. We couldn't do it last year, but this year for sure.
There you
We
go.
just want to reach out more to the community. We have lifestyle brand. Have everybody wear it. For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it, right? Yeah, I don't want to say too much.
Yeah. But for sure, I want, if you guys could get me one of those strawberry ones, 3X. Get me, not like this one too, right here. That's right there.
Pretty much we sold out on pretty much everything. The green ones, the black hoodies, gray hoodies.
Yeah.
It's funny.
This is actually our new drop
our
right
Yeah,
here.
it's our new drop right
We
here.
just dropped it last Sunday. Or is it?
Show 'em the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the thinker.
So this shirt is really kind of showcasing our mission statement. So
Strength of the mind, heal the body, and restore the soul.
Like it.
Kind of forgot I'm wearing the same shirt, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, wait.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for stopping by.
Of course, thank you for having us.
And like I said before, we'll connect on something, and we'll try to work together on doing something for the community, or heck, we'll collab on a design or something. El Local and Restored Grid on the design.
Yeah.
So, guys, thanks again for watching El Local podcast. We got Restored Grid. Make sure you guys check this out. Stay tuned for season finale next week. So, God bless y'all. Thank you guys again for stopping by. Thank you very much. See you guys. Peace out. God bless.